What's up? This is Copy Who, and I am your host, Paul the producer. The one and only. Yeah. I don't care. I do what I want. I like sitting here alone and doing this because as soon as other people are around, I gotta tone down. Do I have to tone my shit down if I have more people in here? I don't think I should have to. I'm gonna take these off for just now. Well, now I feel like that light is more blinding. I'm just trying to assess. It seems like less. Maybe the blue light hits me harder without that. You know that? I don't know. What the truth is, this stupid hat I wear squeezes the frame on my face, and it's feels like a clamp on my head. I don't like that very much. It's not very pleasant for me. So, yeah. My nerves are a little racked because I was listening to InfoWars before coming on here, and I'm concerned, always concerned about a great many things going awry in the world. The new one, which is I'm sure just a coincidence, is that 3 large oil factory refineries in Mexico that supply the United States, they burned up on Saturday. They just blew up. Nothing to see here. And if you think that's not real or that there's not something going on, you have your head in the sand. And I realize you're not going to know about it if you get your info from mainstream media. They are not talking about it in the regular mainstream. So that does disturb me. Pretty soon, if this keeps happening, not only will supply chains dry up, but sources of energy will dry up. There will be power outages. People won't be able to get fuel in their cars. It's going to grind our lives to a tragic halt, and I'm worried about it. I think it's real, and I'm worried about it. So anyone out there wanting, any parasites who want to point to this and be like, look, conspiracy theorist, bad man, do it. And we'll just talk about it when the time comes, shall we? I pity people for what they have just been complicit in, what they have ignored. I pity them. But I'm also pissed off at people. Some people can't help it, though, because, they are just not paying attention. They're not aware. They're not even programmed to think, oh, I should be skeptical of this here. I do believe a healthy degree of skepticism is necessary in life. I am going to pour myself a glass of water. You know why? Because I just had lunch, and I'm thirsty. I'm genuinely thirsty. I made myself one of my masterful special fried egg sandwiches, and I flavor it with chili sauce that I get from these Mexican restaurants around here. Put that there, and I put some provolone cheese on top of it, toast the bread, and I add some salami, and voila, it is this. It's just yummy. And I also sprinkle some Mexican seasoning on top of the eggs when I'm frying them. Delish! I highly recommend. Maybe I should make a video short of my doing that, because they are delicious and they're so practical and so quick to make, and it feels like a good, yummy sandwich. And I can't get anything like that from a restaurant around here, so can't complain, people. Huh? So I was actually deliberating. Before doing this, I was like, do I want to do this recording, or do I just want to go out today and go on a drive? And since it's kind of early, it's 11:42 a.m. When I finish this, once I start uploading it and get all the stuff to upload it squared away, I might take a drive to the mall, or I might go to a thrift shop. Yeah, just to get out and move around a little bit. I need that. I didn't sleep as well as I would like last night. I don't remember my dreams, but my dreams, I recall at the very least, they were strange. Not necessarily unsettling. I don't know. Sleep is still whack. It's not perfect every day. And that's life. Yeah. Still reading St. Augustine, however you pronounce that. Curse this darn English language. I enjoy that. I was sitting on Saturday reading it extensively, focusing on it very hard, and in my own mind disproving St. Augustine's proof for the existence of God And not because I want to prove God doesn't exist, but because if you're going to prove God exists, then it should be an impeccable proof that you can't prove wrong, disparage, invalidate. And I'm not going to sit here and explain it to you because I'd have to like say, okay, before I get to this proof, we have to talk about all these other things that this proof takes to be the truth. And I went through each step of this proof and I was like, nope, because nope, because And I thought I had a very logical line of reasoning for why it's not a legitimate proof. But in the day and age when he lived, some people found it to be very compelling. I do not. And I'm not even going to get into it. But I mean, like, I do want to read a proof where I'm flabbergasted that it truly does prove the existence of God. And I think you can kind of have a philosophy that convinces you about God's existence, taking everything into account. But I don't think there's going to be like, okay, finally someone with the logical proposition has proven the existence of God. No one can say it doesn't exist. God doesn't exist anymore. Sure. So a lot of things I've been thinking about with regard to this show and where it's going, where I'm going, what I can do, what I need to do to get this off the ground. It's funny because Rollo was criticizing someone the other day that he's going back and forth with some other group of people. I don't even know who they are, and saying they're clout chasing. That's why they're starting this argument. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, what the truth is, and this is not particularly a criticism of Rollo. It's just pointing out what I think is a fact, that everybody who's creating content online, because they're creating content online, they're clout chasing. They want more and more people to watch. That's all you do. If you make any one individual show that you have an interest in someone seeing to hear your opinion, you're clout chasing to some extent. Some people are way more loud or selfish about it or self-absorbed or gratuitous about it, undoubtedly. Gratuitous. You know, all of this behind me, it isn't merely clout chasing, but it is clout chasing. I have had someone comment on here that my production is 100 times better than Def Noodles. And you bet your fucking ass it is. It's not the best out there. And sometimes I'm like, it's not. It's so like, well, never mind that. But we're clout chasing, Rollo. Anyone putting stuff online is clout chasing. Speaking of clout chasing, let me come to this first thing I put aside, or it's one of the first things I put aside today. I will open this up here and we will look at it. And the first thing I want to open up, what do I want to look at first? Speaking of clout chasing, okay, these first two clips are some stuff coming off of what do you call it? Twitter. Okay, where's the Twitter page there? Okay, let's come over here to chat. No, that's not it. I want to come oh wait, that is it. So we go like this. Okay, so Pearl is like on a total. She's on a total binge when it comes to being online tweeting. And I've noticed like she's tweeting every 2 seconds of every day. And I'm like, give it a rest, honey. Speaking of clout chasing. And so we'll just go through some of her tweets here and say like how silly some of them are. Like, oh my God, these whores keep scaring me off. These whores keep scaring me with their OF content in my mentions. Please stop. What OF content? What does OF mean? There you go, assuming people know what your little acronyms mean. So she goes through all the posting your ass in Instagram is trashy. She says a lot of things that are definitely trying to poke people's buttons, but I tend to agree with some of what she's saying. And I'm also like, some of the things she's saying, she's just out there clout chasing. Let's open that up a little bit more like that because I want to see me a little more in there. Whoa, come over here. We will scroll through some more of Pearl's. See, this is just in the last hour. You're a bad mother if you put male attention over what is best for your children. And then like, well, let's go there and see that, shall we? Where is that? And then like it's like this is the pic some lady put up. Like that's nasty. That is nasty. Seriously, look right down there. Grody, lady. Have some class. Seriously? Whoa. Doggone it. Pearl is right, man. That, like, if you have kids, this is not how you should be spending your time. This is not mothering, that's for sure. What about your time, though? What about your time? Okay, so Pearl's right. That lady's kind of like hoe-ish. What? Okay, hold on. We'll come back here. How did I lose Pearl's page here? Let's go back to Pearly Things, and let's keep scrolling down a little bit and just see. Okay, so this is an hour ago. Since I'm going to rant on about trashy things, tattoos are trashy. Fake eyelashes are trashy. Tattoos can certainly reach the level of trashy, but not always. It can be approached tastefully, but sometimes it's a little alarming what people do with that. Fake eyelashes are trashy. I have to agree. Those bug me a little bit, and not in the context of women screwing, but certainly day to day, you shouldn't go to church in fake eyelashes. That's just what I'm saying. Too bad if you don't like it. Giant hoop earrings are trashy. I don't particularly like them. Heavy makeup is trashy. Yes, makeup can certainly be overdone. Getting fat is trashy. And what is true about that is you should always try to take care of yourself. Maintain good health. And like for yourself, you'll feel better if you just try to maintain yourself a little bit. Let's see. Okay, let's see. You give the words power when you choose to be offended by them. It's a choice. Okay, so she said that an hour ago. She gets on Twitter and she's just like, boom, boom, boom. She binges all these things out. You could argue it's really all different words for the same thing, loose women. The main difference is that she's talking about a slut, not a hoe. Oh, sluts and hoes are different. Okay, who says that? Jake says sluts and hoes are different. They are? Is it because a slut is just someone screwing who's promiscuous and a hoe is someone who takes money for... Okay, yeah, he does. He says sluts do it for free. Hoes do it for money. You, sir, are a wordsmith. You should be a professor at a university. Yes, I get there's that definitional difference, but a hoe is always a slut. A slut is not always a hoe, right? A tire is not always a part of a car, but a car always has a tire. Yes. What else? We're going to move on to the next person that I'm saying is clout chasing, Michael Sartain, momentarily. And I have some things to say about that too, because it's not a criticism of him. You really want to argue me having a podcast is the same as having sex on the internet? Does Oprah have the same reputation and respect as Lana Rhoades? Who's Lana Rhoades? Look, you could argue many things, but can we stop being disingenuous here? Am I a sad, judgmental cunt, or am I calling water yet? What does that mean? Or am I calling water yet? I guess I'm just not... I'm out of sync with these young kids and their vernacular. What the hell is that? I'm out of water. To cuck my husband, I would have to fuck others, which I don't. Secondly, he has his own OnlyFans, making a lot of money while you're here being a sad, judgmental cunt. I'm just a little more reserved using the word cunt. I have said that before. Believe you me, I just don't feel like reading it right now. That's the mood I'm in, I'm telling you. Come on. Yeah, so Pearl, she's out there clout chasing. She's just constantly, totally looking for attention. Like every few minutes she's tweeting, and she gets a lot of people following. Yesterday she was whining and moaning because Rollo was picking on her a little bit. She's like, I'm getting a little tired of it, Rollo, but you're out there saying all kinds of nasty things about people, so I think you're being a little hypocritical, Pearl Davis. I do like Pearl. She has some insight, but she's also the one who was, a few weeks ago, I did a video reaction from her where she's sitting there chewing some shit and drinking water so loudly. It was so freaking annoying. She's like, yeah, and she's acting like, it's like you have no etiquette when you're on there. And right now I'm doing it to goof on you, but it's not the same thing as me just being mindless and making a lot of nasty noises. It's unpleasant when people are eating. I don't like the sound of when people are eating food and chomping, and especially when it's crunchy and you're on a microphone. Like, this is not the time for me to open up a bag of potato chips when I'm talking to you guys on here. I'm not going to chew gum on here. I'm trying to have some kind of professionalism here, babe. And it might be compromised when I call you babe. But then, on the other hand, if I endeavor to engage in satire or something slightly funny to anyone out there who might understand it, I might call you babe or sweetheart, to be a little bit sarcastic. And moving on, we'll go to Michael Sartain now. Another man who I observed, this is also sort of about clout chasing here. And the reason I'm going to this is, okay, well, it just made me think a few things. So let me bring it over to you like this once again, okay? Here's Michael Sartain with a bunch of chicks, okay? Can't say that I blame him for wanting to do that. Look at you, Michael, around a bunch of women. But I asked myself, this is the interesting part of what I was asking myself about this image right here. I was like, so how would I feel if I were Michael Sartain in that picture and I had all these women around me all the time? And I imagine feeling somewhat overwhelmed by that. And all I'm saying is that that's perfectly fine. If he wants to go and chase women like that, God knows that being around women in that context is going to make more and more women attracted to him. It's going to be like a snowball. Dude's probably getting tons of action from tons of beautiful women. And I'm problematic because I'm the type of guy who's like, I don't want to put in the work to get with women. I don't want that environment there. I can just imagine all the people, all the women like, and it's like, it's overwhelming and it can be really annoying, the demeanor of women. Like, so I would rather sit at a table with Jedidiah and Pearl having an intellectual conversation than being around all those women there who are hot. They're sexually appealing. Don't get me wrong. It's just that I have an unrealistic view of the world where it's like, do you want to have sex? Yes. Okay, let's go do that. Okay, we're done. Bye. I don't want to talk. I don't want to get deep with someone who's a ding dong. I just want it to be consensual. I don't want anyone to feel like have their feelings hurt. It's mutual. You understand why you're doing it. And I'm not justifying the sin of lust of doing it. I'm just saying I don't want to put any work into it. So it's like I understand all these aspects of game and how it works, and that if I put the energy into it, I'd probably be pretty good at it. But I want, generally what I was going to say is, and this is what I was thinking about when I was looking at Michael Sartain and this picture here, is I want good company. I just want someone that I really enjoy the company of hanging out with me, someone who's ultra red-pilled. So if it were a woman who very much thought like Jedidiah about a great many things, I'm like, oh my God, she has all these beliefs I'm looking for in a woman. Where is that single woman who's like, oh, I like Paul. I want to get with Paul because we have these things in common. And we won't even have to like negotiate doing certain things because we're on the same page. And there's so few women like that out there. And I know she's taken, and I'm not hitting on her, and I'm not ingratiating myself to her gratuitously. I just like a lot of where she's coming from as a person. So, I mean, like, are any of these women in this photo here, are they red-pilled? That's just what I'm wondering, okay? Like, are they? I mean, I don't know. And it's like the smiles are so big that it just feels like it's all a put on to me. I've seen beautiful smiles that are natural. And then whenever there's a picture, there are girls who are like, ever since I was 12, I have my smile like, And it's just, it feels like I'm being put on. And so let's just evaluate the beauty of these women, though, okay? So, like, offhand, the one I think is most beautiful is the brunette that has, the brunette right here that has Michael Sartain's, what do you call it? Her head on Michael Sartain, his left ear. She's pretty hot, okay? And so the rest, it's just like bleach blondes are bleach blondes, and I get the beauty, but there's something about a brunette that makes me go like, oh wait, I'm into her. Brunettes and dark hair, I like that. They're all, of course, beautiful women, but it's just there's something off in that whole proposition. And it's not that I'm not attracted to women. I I think they're all gorgeous. I just don't like want to put the work in with anyone. I want to find someone I can be close to. And I should be out of my you should consider me out of my fucking mind. You know why? Because I still think that I want to meet a woman and bring children into this world, even though I think it's horrendously fucked up and I'm actually distressed and mortified about the future. But part of bringing those kids into the world is being on the same page with the mother so that you can protect them and recognize the elements of the world that can do severe harm to that child between the culture, the screens, and the education. I'm not even going to consider fucking public school again. Public school can fuck off. Public school should be abolished. I want to give every single child in the world permission right now. Just, you're better off if you walk out. Never mind. Your mom and dad, what they say should matter, okay? However, I am superseding their authority right now. And what I'm saying is, if you don't like going there, you're probably better off not going there. Let's say you're going to a woke school where they're teaching you all the yuckity yuck curriculum. I'm saying you have my permission as the all-knowing man on earth, okay? I'm not saying I am he who is. I'm just saying I am he who is one who knows. And you don't have to go to school. You can walk out right now. You should drop out. Because if it's a public school, and keep learning, don't get me wrong, practice reading, practice writing, practice math, read certain types of books that come recommended from me. I am he who is one man on earth, not he who is. Okay, do you understand the difference? I'm saying in a very sensational way that I am not God, and yet I am he who is on earth, and I know something, and you should listen to me and not go to school. Stop going to school. Yeah. It's good advice, believe me. You'll get more fucked up by staying in your school, okay? Jeez Louise, I'm fed up with it. I'm so fed up with public schools, but I'm not going to get temperamental, but I am. Fuck public schools. You brainwashing villains? Seriously. And need I get specific about it? Because I could get really specific about it. Like, what does he mean? Why fuck public schools? Tell me, Paul. Come on now. I'll send you to someone else. You can go listen to them. Some maybe I'll think, okay, listen to them. They speak for me. I think actually Dennis Prager probably knows what I'm talking about, public schools and institutions and a lot of colleges right now. So he can speak for me as far as public schooling in America, in contemporary America, okay? Dennis Prager speaks for me, okay? And I'm looking for a spouse, and I'm not looking for a party. I'm already exhausted. Like I want to get up before everyone else and leave the party. And this has been the theme of my whole life because I'm tired. I'm an introvert, not an extrovert. It may seem like I'm an extrovert because of the way I carry myself on here, but I'm alone in this room. So it substantiates nothing about being an extrovert. Even though this recording is going out into the world, I don't think that's what makes me an extrovert. Because if you meet me in person, you'll be like, whoa, he's way more subdued. I'm all warmed up now, right? I got this flow going right now, and I'm just bibbity bop bop bop. My God, I hope I don't have to pee big time here. I need to fix this so I can have like a little break screen and play some music. And I have one thing I would like to play. I just have to figure out if I still have this artist's permission to spin it because it's kind of nice. It's warm in this room, okay? So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go like this and air out my head a little. I knew it was warm in this room. And I even turned I don't have heat going on in this house, but every one of these TVs you see puts out heat in this room. And I took off my jeans. And now all I'm wearing is my sweats underneath. See? Sweats. They are not my denim jeans. Because I'm like, I'm going to be hot. If I don't take this off, I'm going to be really hot. I got to take it off. All right, next up. Woo, I am just being very strange right now. Okay, kids and phones. I can't remember what this is, but I want to come back to it, and we will. Oh, you know what? So, oh yeah, okay. Let me close this, go like this. Whee! And zoom this in right there. Yeah, baby. All right, I like this actress, and I liked what she was saying, and I'm like, oh my God, another woman. Like, I need to get with a woman just like this. Let's open this. Let's load this, rather. And I will hit the sound.
I don't want to be accused of being a celebrity standing up on a soapbox, but it is possible to just say no.
Since when do you have an English accent? I did not know that. as a matter of fact, I thought you were an American because I thought I've seen you playing Americans in movies. Lordy. What's your name? Does it say up here? Kate Winslet. Okay, I actually like her. I think she was one of the ones I saw in the Then and Now the other day where I thought, I don't know her name, but I liked evaluating her looks.
You know, my children don't have social media and haven't had social media. There are many fake accounts out there for myself and also my children, weirdly, so I'm told. But it's possible to just say, no, you can't have it. You can't have it because I want you to enjoy your life.
Yeah.
I want you to be a child. I want you to look at the clouds and not photograph them and post them on your...
Oh, yeah. Speaking of one of the enormous things brainwashing the living shit out of children these days, cell phones, iPads, all screens, media coming through those screens, kids having unfettered, unrestricted, unregulated access to all the bad things culture has to offer. I have a big problem with this. So, you know how I said fuck public schools? Fuck screens. Even though you're watching me on one, possibly, you know, this is better influence because this is enlightening influence. This is like the red pill from the Matrix. If you listen to this, it's like taking the red pill. If you listen to, what's that, Late Night with Colbert? What's his name? What's his first name? Something Colbert. Douche Colbert. He is a blue pill guy. I am a red pill guy. Do you understand the difference? Red pill being synonymous with being aware of certain things that most people have their head in the sand about, or they're just clueless about, or they're brainwashed about it. They can't be helped, okay? Let's see what else Kate Winslet has to say to us right now, shall we?
Instagram page and then decide whether or not the clouds were worth looking at because someone thought that they were rubbish. It's like it's tampering with sometimes a very basic level of self-esteem, but on a bigger and darker scale, it is tampering with young people's self-esteem to the extent that they are completely losing a sense of who they are.
Yes, it's doing severe damage.
Don't know how to communicate with not just their friends, but their families. And it's making them depressed. It's clearly making them depressed. It's obviously a huge problem.
Yes.
And
thank you for
she's
stating.
Right.
No, I'm appreciating what you're saying. You're stating what is obvious and true, and yet you will still have a lot of people be like, meh. Adults cannot regulate their own screen time use. Adults behave like irresponsible jackasses online. So therefore, how can we expect kids to behave responsibly when children cannot? Or when adults cannot, excuse me. And you know what? Who's taking me seriously when I wear this on my head like this? I don't blame you for not taking me seriously, but it seriously feels a lot better not to have my glasses pinched on my head. You know, that is pretty cool. I want this to come out a little more here. There we go. Oh, no. I kind of want it to be like the pontiff's hat in the Vatican. I need to experiment with silly headgear for this show, okay? Let's hear more of Kate Winslet here.
Don't let your children have a phone if they are...
Kate Winslet, if you were in Titanic, then I did know you had an accent. you know, you look so much better than you did then, honestly. I like everything this woman is saying. Okay, so the fact that I really am attracted to Kate Winslet and Jedidiah Bila means that, well, gosh, I don't have a good chance of hooking up with either of those two. So I need people to put the word out for me. There's this weird guy you might like doing a show, and he's very red-pilled but very silly at the same time sometimes. But then if you knew me personally, you'd be like, God, Paul, you're so dark. And it's true. Like, I do have family members who know how incredibly dark and cynical I can be, pessimistic about the world I can be because of what I see unfolding. It's very unsettling. Let me just give you a sound sample of what I was listening to before I started this recording today.
Free speech. We say no to you selling us out to the World Health Organization. We say no to you getting us into World War III. You're right. We stand against autocrats like you, Joe Biden. And
okay, so that's just a little sample. That's Owen Schroyer from InfoWars, and I agree with everything he's saying. Most of the time I'm agreeing with a lot of what Owen is saying, and it's very much along the same lines as his mentor and boss, Alex Jones, okay? Not that I agree with everything. I never do agree with everything with certain people, but you know how it is in today's day and age. If you agree with something, then people will just automatically categorize you and label you. So that's enough of Kate Winslet for now. Okay. And so what I want to do here is come to the very next thing in line here, okay? Absurd beliefs from a woman on At Whatever, the show. You remember that one? Yes, we do. So we go over here and we go, vroom. Okay. So, oh, yes, it's the same ding dong. I was zooming in on her boobs a few weeks ago, and I even made her boobs the what do you call it? Hold on. The internet is weird today. It's not quite loading right.
The beginning of time.
How?
And it's natural.
Oh, gosh.
How? Are you really? How
hold on, what'd you
women
say?
have been oppressed since the beginning
boo-hoo.
of time.
Crimea
and
River.
it's natural.
Oh, gosh.
How? Are you really? How?
Since the beginning of time. I hate oppression is a modern word, okay? Because life in and of itself, honey bunch, is oppression. We are beset with hardship from the day we're born, everyone, okay? Oppression, the conditions of life, having to survive. And so it just sounds like another lady who's been programmed into, I'm a victim, and not recognizing that the actual environment you're in favors the living shit out of you to such a degree that it's ridiculous. Preposterous. Yes, sirree. Okay? Oh, well, give me more. Give me more. Tell me more, ding dong. What?
We're oppressed in history, but so were men.
Yes, we were.
It's not.
Still are.
Not as much as
everyone is
women
still.
were.
Not
this
as much.
Is interesting.
It's just a subjective fucking thing. She's like giving me an emotional burp when not as much as women. Like, okay, so these guys who were forced to go fight in a war and they died on the battlefield. That's not any kind of oppression. They didn't want to do that. They probably wanted to survive. But so what? So freaking what? But it's easy to rebut people who are ding-dongs. I'm doing a Bill Maher right now. You know what that is? Because you know what Bill Maher does? Bill Maher had a movie called Religulous. And basically it was his way of trying to rebut the whole idea that there's a God or that religion is stupid or something. And what he did in that was the vast majority of people he talked to were inherently stupid. So I'm sitting here doing a Bill Maher because when I'm talking about this lady here, this ding-dong young lady, I'm not going deep in the well to find an intelligent woman to rebut on a certain idea right now. I'm, in fact, taking one of the dumbest people, and it makes it easy for me to seem like I'm smart, even in the hat right now. Because, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Keep playing this lady.
Hey, how were women oppressed? You're like, well, it's self-evident, Brian. I shouldn't have to educate you. Yet you've just asked me the same question. You've just asked, how were men oppressed? Shouldn't you know?
No, because that wasn't taught in school.
Oh my God. How fucking out of touch with the reality are you? You can't sit there and just think about how might life have been hard for men. Forget about women for a second, but you just do the thought exercise and you go, men have had to fight wars. Men are trash men. Men work all of these difficult jobs with infrastructure, and they swim around in the sewer so you can take a shit and flush the toilet. How often is the toilet fix-it lady, or how often is it a lady that you have coming to fix your toilet, okay? Am I making my point here? But you look so oppressed, sitting in the lap of luxury in this room, looking all sweet and dolled up. You better go get dressed and have to seriously though, but I think it's the same girl that was on before, but it's actually a different occasion that she's on here. So they called her back maybe because she was an interesting case.
So isn't that interesting? Male
Ding
oppression
dong.
was never taught in school. Female
Ding
oppression
dong.
was. Isn't that interesting? So who's really oppressed?
Male
then?
oppression was never taught in school. Was it really not? In any regard. There's no fucking way you can just sit and think about it for a second. You can't give any credit to the thought that in the conditions of life, the human condition, the human experience, men, have they ever been oppressed? Especially under the hand of a dictator or a monarch? Come on, ding dong. You've had this real privileged life where you've been in such a you're like living in what I would call the anomaly of history, where it's been so good for so long since you were born. Spoiled, I'm betting. I bet your parents are rich out there in Southern California. Life is just awesome for you. And you can't even imagine hardship. And what do you think when you see homeless people on the road? When you see a man who's homeless on the road, could you possibly imagine any set of circumstances that led that man to being oppressed? It's just this femme-centric idea that only women are victims. That's total going back to Marxism again. You're the marginalized group. Women, oh, poor women. Yeah, right. Give me a break. Poor women. In today's day and age, give me a freaking break.
If men's...
And like the marriage contract, okay? There's a fucking thing. Men are oppressed in virtue of the contract of marriage with the state being a totally unreasonable, unconscionable contract. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it favors you as a business proposition to get married to any guy who has money and then dump him and make him your indentured slave forever. Okay, give me a break. Men are more free and privileged than women. Yeah, not in today's day and age, sweetheart. Maybe 150 years ago.
Grievances throughout history are overlooked. Who's the real one that's oppressed? Perhaps you don't even believe men are oppressed.
Brian's making a very good point.
To be honest.
You don't?
Yeah.
Okay.
Women have been oppressed
excuse me.
since
No,
the
come
beginning
back.
of time.
Son of a gun.
To be honest.
You don't? You don't even believe men are oppressed?
Don't. To be honest.
No, ding dong. Ding dong. I want to hear her, I want to hear what she says with what I just had to say. But like Myron on the real Fresh and Fit, as opposed to this Fresh and Fit clone, this mild Fresh and Fit clone where Brian the Weak lets women stomp all over his fucking balls and tongue all day long, where he doesn't drive his own room. Like, you just let that lady get away with that? You don't fucking put her in her place and teach her something. I want to teach her something. Someone send her this clip. You know, it's good for you. It's good to be humbled. It's good to be humbled, baby. I know, my hat, right? Yeah, it's driving me nuts. I'm like amusing myself with it. And it's like the first time I think I've shown you guys my ears here. See, I have normal ears. They're attractive ears. You can identify me with my ears. Yes, people make fun of me for having these kinds of headset things too, but if I wear the cans, it'll like squish on my head, and I don't like that. And so I can monitor in these just fine for these purposes. If I'm recording music, I probably want to have more traditional cans on my head. I'm sitting here alone. I don't need traditional cans on my head. Okay. Enough of this woman.
Yeah.
All right, we're letting you go. We're going to the next clip, whatever that may be, okay? The next clip I want to say might be Jedidiah. And yes, it is. Let me just...
What about the women?
Let me get you over here real quick. She's talking to Pearl, and it's an interesting discussion. And, you know, sometimes I do appreciate the things Pearl is saying, but she's a little idiosyncratic as a personality. So here we go. Jedidiah, you're so cute, and you're so smart. I want something like you. I mean, like, with as strange as I act, would these women ever consider, like, setting me up? Because I'm looking for something with your kind of resume. And anyway, let us listen. This is 8.5 minutes. I think I'm going to about 5 minutes.
Women who are triggered by you. Who are those women?
Whales. Sorry, I mean beautiful, majestic
about
creatures
5.5 minutes.
So people who struggle with obesity is where you're getting. But who else?
Who else? I would say girls that are like very promiscuous get triggered when I talk about like body count. I would say that oh my gosh, feminists hate me. They look at me. Did you see that panel? They hated me. They did hate
you.
And I'm like, I have been perfectly polite. You see when she called me pretty, I'm like, thank you. And she didn't even mean to. She was trying to insult me. Anyways, yeah, I would say feminists.
Okay, Pearl does have a lovability about her, and I think she's attractive, and I don't think she's my type, but I would enjoy having an interaction with her because she's fun. She can goof around, and she's not afraid to call women out either. That's cool. I like her. Even despite the idiosyncrasies of chomping on food and sucking down water like a snuffleupagus.
Like, are super into OnlyFans club, like that sort of thing. And
I can't always compliment without a smack in the face.
Whales. Number one is whales.
Do you know why they hate you? Like, do you? Because
this is an interesting angle, actually. Let me go back. I like the
Whales.
angle there.
Number one is whales.
You rarely see the wide angle from the side, seeing the two guests here, and it's just very different. It's a nice change from seeing the background behind Jedidiah here. I like the lights. I like that touch in her studio. Those things that hang down, they have a nice, and I don't think they're green screen or a chroma key effect, but that's cool.
You know why they hate you? Like, do you? Because my perception, like the way I feel about it, is that they hate you because you're saying stuff. There's truth to it. If there wasn't truth to what you were saying, they wouldn't hate you.
Bingo.
They would just be like, oh, who cares?
Yeah.
There's truth to it, and also it makes them reflect on their own choices. So now, if you're talking about how female promiscuity is not empowering, and they've been promiscuous,
that's all I've been saying.
Bought the story.
That's what I've been saying.
Empowering.
But it's bad when I say it because I'm a man. What?
Listening to you, and they're like, we got to shut her up.
See, and here's the thing. A lot of times we have this narrative like, oh, they bought the story when they're young, I don't really believe that. I think deep down on an innate level, we all know. Because what's the first thing that girls call each other when we're mad?
Ho?
You're a hoe. Why are you saying that if it's a good thing? I feel like sometimes that's a cop-out that women use where they'll be like, oh, I bought into and I'm like, did you?
So you don't think?
I think people just say mean shit when they're angry. And some of the words I used to hurl at people are now verboten. Like, I won't even say them right now because someone will report this video and then YouTube will be like, you're being hateful. I used to just hurl mean shit at people. But now the words I used to hurl at people are not allowed.
That women bought the story. Then why did they do it if they didn't buy the story?
They just wanted no consequences. And like, honestly, there really aren't a ton, like, even
she called me a hoe.
You're a generation older, but I asked my mom, I'm like, do the hoes get married too? She said, yeah. So at the end of the day, there's really not a lot of consequences.
Yeah, like Rollo says, after they're done being a hoe at the end of the party phase, they are ready, they have their epiphany, and then they like consolidate resources and jump into marriage with a beta man, have some kids, divorce him to get back with the alpha fuck, and keep the beta man around as an indentured slave. Yes. Did I get that right? I think I did.
See, I think they have to have bought the story to an extent because there's too many of them that aren't comfortable being promiscuous. Like, they'll do it, but they go home, they're miserable. They cry about it. They call their friends. They're mad that guy.
I think that's true.
Yeah, they're mad the guy didn't call them back. They're expecting that guy to behave like a boyfriend when it was really clearly just a hookup. So they're so upset about it that they're then trying to map out with their friend on the phone, like, why doesn't he like me? Because it's like they bought the story that somehow they were going to be promiscuous and it was going to feel good and they were going to get what they wanted or something beneficial for them out of that situation. And they don't. They're all miserable. I think like there's a hesitance to point out
it was substantiated a shitload of time ago that women who are promiscuous suffer from lower self-esteem. And whether or not that's true for men is a mutually exclusive issue. So we can debate the morals, comparing the morals all day long, but women have lower self-esteem when they do that. I don't think they were evolved in the same way that men were to be promiscuous. That's why a woman can only get pregnant with a baby once at a time. And back in the day, it was about like I said, sex was sacred and it was about intimacy between two people and it was about procreation. Now it has been demoted down to this level of hedonism, and there's nothing sacred about it for a lot of people, and that's a tragic loss, actually. And so when you treat it like that and then you eventually wind up with someone, you're going to feel unsatisfied. Like I don't think, no matter how much I like eating a cheeseburger, it's never going to be as satisfying as smoking a joint. Do you know what I mean? The joint is like the ultimate euphoria, is my point. And then like you get some euphoria out of a good cheeseburger, like, damn, that's a good cheeseburger, but you're not like, oh my god, this cheeseburger, huh? And so sex is kind of that way. The difference between good sex and boring sex is remarkable. Even for a man, you know, it's not like I could be with a girl who's very hot, except that if she didn't enjoy herself and if she were boring, it wouldn't be that great. And so there's just a certain connection. There are many levels, emotional, physical, and spiritual, that distinguish the act of sex to be special or not. And if it's just hedonistic, it can be fun, but it's missing out on something deeper on a more personal level. damn, I should be on these shows with
a
these
lot of
people
women who follow
talking about
feminist
what
advice,
I think.
they're just so unhappy. They don't reflect, like they're promiscuous but unhappy. They're on birth control, unhappy. They're climbing the corporate ladder, unhappy. Why no self-reflection in the process, do you think?
Because people are simple. Because people are innately like sheep, and they're programmed into society these days. It is not society's goal to develop so that people are self-aware. If anything, they don't want to be people to be self-aware because they're easier to control. That goes with men and women.
I kind of have a different view on it. I just
What's
think,
your take?
I just think they liked the party life.
I love Pearl's teeth. She's got a great rack there. The teeth rack. Not the rack a foot and a half below her teeth, but the teeth.
I just think it was fun. You know what I mean? Like, okay, maybe how many girls do you really know that are really climbing the corporate ladder? I mean, you think you lived in New York, right?
I did, yeah.
Maybe you knew more of them, but I'm
lot.
like, most girls I know just have average jobs. And most girls in general have average jobs. They're not climbing anything.
See, I know a lot of girls that are trying to compete with men, like in the cities, and I grew up with a lot of them that were
Good
like,
luck with
I want to
that.
be the manager, I want to be the CEO, I want to be like that's a sign that I've been successful in life. And they forewent having children for a really long time in order to do that.
Affirmative action is not legitimately competing with men. It's like getting a handicap to compete with men, which is not the same. You know what? Girls competing with trans in those sports should get a huge handicap so that they have some kind of legitimate way of beating out that person for the championship. I'm just saying.
So I think they exist, and they're, you know.
This is just, I'm just saying by and large, the average salary is like $35,000 a year for women. So like by and large, women aren't climbing the corporate ladder. Like there are some, right? Maybe like 10, 15%, but I would say like by and large, it's more just like it was fun.
So they just want to have fun.
Yeah,
so you believe that modern women are deriving enjoyment from that pro-promiscuity structure. You believe they're not unhappy at their core?
I think they're unhappy.
Some are.
Like, how do I put it? When the
think some are.
consequences happen.
I think they enjoy. Who doesn't enjoy good sex? But ultimately, once that's over, you are going to think less of yourself. Just like somebody who goes back to drugs thinks less of themselves after they go on some kind of binge or something.
Like when they sleep with a bunch of people and then like everyone finds out and they're like, oh shit, now. But I think like to start, they're having fun. And then, life catches.
These two yuck it up good. I actually really like how these two converse with one another.
It's kind of like you eat 10 cheeseburgers. Every time you eat the cheeseburger, it's fun. You're happy. But then you're 300 pounds. Rebecca.
Cheeseburger.
So
have
that's
a joint
how I see
instead.
Yeah, see, I don't think they're having fun. I think they're programmed little robots. I think they're largely miserable, and I think they can't change because they've been told that that's what they should be doing. It's crazy though. You look at like college girls coming out today. Some of these body counts. How are you coming out of college with 15, 20 people?
Oh, that's interesting. I can think of actual people. I would not name by name right now, but when I was younger, women who were sleeping with a lot of men in college, and there just seemed to be this kind of attitude like they didn't care. And if they did care, they hid that it affected their self-esteem exceptionally well. Some women have that self-respect, some don't. But I think that society encultures an idea that promiscuity is empowering because you can do it. But what really is empowering is that you can do it, but it should be empowering when you choose not to do it, because there are these tendencies human beings have morally to do things they shouldn't do, like be promiscuous. It's ultimately not healthy for the soul, and the dynamic of whether you're a man or a woman, it's different. But if you believe it's a sin either way. Lust is a sin either way.
You're telling me.
I mean, did you study, girlfriend? What did you do? Like, I don't understand where that kind of time comes from. Honestly.
Oh my God. No. Oh my gosh. The girl on my show, the one who I was like, okay, I'm going to tell you this story. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place.
She may give the names away too.
Look at Amy. And she comes on my show and we were talking a show about body count, right? How many bodies is too many bodies? Questions like that. I don't usually, the only time I ask people their body count is when I say, is body count important? And they say no. And then I say, then what's your body count? But the point isn't to get their body count. The point is to show it's important, right? Because otherwise everyone would just be like, this, So on this show, as a joke, I was like, what's you guys' body count? And I said, ha ha. You don't have to say it's okay. Like, I was kidding. She's all this pro-sex girl. So she's like, oh, I'll say it to get rid of the stigma. Are you sure? She says yes. Okay, go ahead. This girl threatens to sue me because she said her body count on live.
See, that reminds me of a woman who would say, like, get drunk, have sex with a man, and really want to have sex with a man, enjoy it, but then the next day she regrets it, and then so she's saying it's rape. And so she comes on your show, says, yes, okay, I want to put that out there. And then, like, it's your fault for bringing that out there? Like, you're responsible for what you say. Pearl isn't responsible for what you say. And so you reveal, basically, that you've probably had a very high body count, and then you want to blame someone else because you revealed it. And you want to be cool, and you want to get attention for it. Let me tell you, guys are going to be ringing your phone off the hook, because they heard on Pearl's show that you are doing it with a lot of guys. I remember they said when I was younger, like, a lot of guys want to date a woman that they know has a baby because they're like, she has the sex. And so they go after the woman with the sex. So now the equivalent is you went on Pearl's show and you revealed that you have a high body count, and guys are going to be like, oh, I remember her from Pearl's show. I'm going to, like, get her number and get some action, It basically gives a guy an indication that he has a better chance of getting the action he's seeking when women reveal that. And she wants to blame you. No. Pearl is not responsible for that. In my court of law, case dismissed. You be responsible for what you say, and don't try to blame others when you don't know what to say and what not to say. I'm a whole fucking bag of discernment right here on this show, believe it or not. I didn't say the C word earlier in this show because I decided that's too far for me. That's my own standard. But believe me, if I weren't recording it, if I were with friends or family that I thought that would be all right and it was accurate and apropos to describe someone, I probably would. I'm in that weird mood right now. Okay.
That's ridiculous.
Why did you say it?
So litigious people. Oh my God. Sex pause.
Okay, that's it. We're getting off this clip right now. And I'm running long on time. Oh, so I will start this clip with Rollo, and we'll see how okay, so it's Rollo Tomassi and Michael Sartain on Access Vegas.
I heard a metaphor once that it's like guys fall in love like a train, and once it gets going, it's incredibly hard to stop.
Sure. Well, men love idealistically, women love opportunistically.
Very
so it's like women.
I'm very familiar with Rollo saying that in his books, and I'm like, oh my God, it's true. Like, I look back at my whole life and I see it like that. Opportunistically. Holy cow, if I wanted, I could get really personal right now. But certainly the women I've fallen in love with in my adult life, adult being defined as 18 years old and on, and extremely rare, I love them so idealistically. Like, it was like deep for me. And I don't feel that anymore because I've had the heartbreak beat the idealism out of me, and so I'm like, oh boy. So I need to kind of figure out how to fall in love with someone again. I don't know how that's possible, really, but this is interesting stuff.
They don't marry a man, they marry a lifestyle. So they're looking for the guy who can provide that lifestyle. And if they fall in love with that guy later on, then so much the better.
Does anybody disagree with that?
And that's problematic for me because one of the things I have difficulty doing is I don't want to use my possessions and my house and my car. I don't want to put that out there as like, hey, let me lure you with this opportunity of all this stuff. I would if the law weren't threatening to let a woman take it away from me for daring to get into a marriage and then wind up making a huge mistake. It's just, The system is imbalanced. So loving opportunistically in this environment, that is such a dangerous proposition.
Guys fall in love because it's like they think love should matter for love's sake, and it would be great. I mean, it's not unconditional.
That's the way I would describe myself.
That they not dependent upon their performance, right? So that's why we have the marriage vows. You know, in sickness and in health, rich or poor, till death do us part, forsaking all others. If you look at the traditional marriage vows, that's a contract, man. That's a compromise between two mating strategies right there, which is like, I know you're looking for a guy who's bigger and better than me, but like, we're going to make this promise here that I'm going to stick with you, you're going to stick with me, we're going to have babies together, and we're going to be invested in this family. And so this is a formalization of that compromise between.
Now, I know what he said there and what I've been talking about the last couple of minutes, loving idealistically versus loving opportunistically. I was thinking about it because one time when I was much younger, I remember my mom saying she had a sense that my father was going to do well in life. She must have recognized that he had a drive to accomplish things. And so to what degree is that is the word opportunistically it's too much only the one word to describe why people, so it's the whole, sometimes it's got to be the whole package. There are a lot of women out there who would not marry a billionaire if it looked like Dom DeLuise at his heaviest weight. Is that a good example? Or Chris Farley. And some would, because they see the whole package of the opportunity to get in a door into entertainment business, the opportunity. Can a gorgeous woman fall in love with Chris Farley and not see it in an opportunistic way? And is the love in and of itself not one of those aspects of opportunity? Is not loving, is it describable as an opportunity? Can you separate off the different ways women love into a like pie, like a graph of pie? One is like 40% opportunity, 40% he's attractive, 40% he has a good personality or sense of humor or whatever. Do you see what I'm saying? Or is it just strictly love is an opportunity, even for a man. Love is an opportunity for sex. Love is an opportunity to have a child. Love is an opportunity maybe to have a woman do something nice for him. It's the weird way we can fuck around with words to describe things. You never know.
Two of them. Men love idealistically, women love opportunistically, or women will not allow themselves to emotionally invest in a guy unless there's some criteria met. He's got to meet these.
Why do you think that is, Rollo?
Always? In today's day and age, always? Because this is the social setting we're in contemporary life, modern life. And contrast it to when parents would betroth their kids to another family's parents for a dowry or some idea of, okay, well, they're going to get that property over there. And so you have this families that join one another to amass power. All these things are all gone. And this is the cheapened reality we're living in, is the one kind of that Rollo describes. And that's not a criticism of Rollo. I just find some pessimism in it for myself.
Because you're interested in long-term security. You have to, because again, your sexuality is a depreciating asset, but also you're the vulnerable sex. So there's a higher cost.
Everybody's sexuality is a depreciating asset. It's also fucking under threat from people who will disparage your reputation for unjust reasons. But it's always an asset with a perceived value that could be threatened by something, who knows what.
Reproductive cost for you.
Oh, don't I know?
You will, like, if you think about this, I always talk about like 18 to 28 is the quote unquote hoe phase, right? The party. I said it nicely, right? It's the hoe phase, 18 to 28.
The exploration phase.
Yes.
Women call it the hoe phase.
Yeah,
party phase.
So 29 to 31, 32, right about there. That's what I call the epiphany phase. That's when I go, okay, I got to cash out of the sexual marketplace
there
right now. The lights are coming on.
He's saying exactly what I was saying earlier on, and I got it from him. It's not like the idea didn't genesis from me.
Go the distance with. But if you think about, like, women have that 10-year span between 18 and 28 years old, the rest of their lives as a depreciating asset as far as the sexual market value is concerned, not personal worth, sexual market value, women need that insurance. They need emotional insurance. They need, financial insurance. There's a lot of things that women need for their long-term security. We teach women today to go get it themselves, right? Go get a college degree. Go get your business together. Get the bag. Whatever it is that you got to do.
The recipe for societal
get all of that
misery,
stuff for
ladies
yourself,
and
because
gentlemen.
You can't trust guys to do that, and by and large, right now, I can understand why. But there was the idea of you have 10 years to sort of this 10-year window in a lifespan that's going to be like, what, 90 years or so?
If we're lucky.
The next,
Are you kidding? 90 years now? No way. Not with the spray in the sky, Rollo. Not with the GABSs, and not with all the crap in the FOOD and the shit in the WATER. Oh my God, no. No way, Jose.
Going on until you die of old age or whatever, idealistically, you need more in terms of long-term security than you have 10 years to acquire that and consolidate on that long-term security. That's why.
Yep. Insightful words from Rollo. I'm wrapping this up because I have gone an hour now, and that's enough for me. I'm thinking about doing this once or twice a week instead of 3 times a week, and trying to better what I'm doing within the time, getting guests, improving the production on some level. I'm like having backwash right now. And so, what can I say, my loves, my friends, my darlings? If you like what you're seeing here, I appreciate you liking the videos, commenting on the videos. I like to engage, I like to interact. Because I am a clout chaser, as we all are, as Rollo is, as Jedidiah is, as Pearl is, as Dev Noodles is, as Jamie Kennedy is. We all seek out freaking gosh darn clout. And I appreciate anyone willing to chase it with me. Chase some clout with me. Help me achieve some clout. Anyway, if you like it, share it. That's it. That's really all I have to say to you. All right, you know what I say at the very end, right? Peace be with you all. I am a conehead. Cone. C-O-N-E, cone. From the Latin. No, never mind. Bye.